The ancient Romans conquered vast amounts of lands in Europe and northern Africa. They built roads and aqueducts. They spread their language, Latin, far and wide. The Romans were also known for their military, political, and social institutions. But there is one thing that Romans did much better than others, and nobody really appreciated them back in the day, and it's their concrete. But what makes this concrete so special that even after 2,000 years people are talking about it? Well, keep watching till the end to know more about the secret behind how Roman concrete was made. Today, we use concrete for most of our construction, whether it be building roads to buildings to bridges. The distinctive characteristics like strength, durability, low maintenance, sustainability, energy efficiency are the reasons for the wide-range usage of concrete in the field of engineering. It does not exist as an independent construction material, as it is a mixture of several other materials like cement, fine aggregates, crushed stones, and water. This is the reason why ready-mix concrete has already become really popular in recent years as they speed up the construction process. The characteristics of concrete, such as high strength and unit weight, make it the perfect material for the construction of dams because dams are used to store water and produce electricity. So the loads imposed on them due to water pressure will be intense, which makes concrete a suitable material for dam construction. Concrete is also used in high-rise buildings because they offer a cost-effective, low-maintenance solution along with easy transfer of heat from the inside to outside and vice versa. But the problem is that it can break down in about 50 years. The Roman concrete structures were subjected to seawater for more than 2,000 years, and it held up to the test of time really well compared to all the modern structures that we have today because most of our modern structures have eroded over within a few decades. Even more than 1,000 years after the Western Roman Empire crumbled to death, their concrete structures are still standing, which raised several eyebrows. Were the Romans much more technologically advanced than us? Well, it has to do with a very special ingredient that makes the concrete grow stronger, not weaker, over time. The Romans are famous for so many things, but one thing that most people don't know about is the mystery surrounding the concrete mixture of the Romans. Scientists began their search for an ancient recipe for mortar laid by Roman engineer Marcus Vitruvius way back in 30 BCE. This mixture consisted of volcanic ash, lime, and seawater mixed together with volcanic rocks and spread into wooden molds that were then immersed in more seawater. History already contains several references to the durability of the Roman concrete, including a cryptic note that was written in 79 BCE, which described concrete exposed to seawater as a single stone mass impregnable to the waves and every day stronger. Salt water corrodes modern concrete, but the concrete used by ancient Romans does not suffer the same issue. The Roman erected seawalls are still standing strong in the Italian waters. Scientists analyzed the chemical makeup of the concrete from locations throughout Italy and assessed the historical writings about the ancient Roman sea structures to learn more about what made the Roman concrete tough. The concrete is made of quicklime or calcium oxide and volcanic ash. This analysis suggests that the material undergoes a very rare chemical reaction, and this reaction is the reason behind the strength of these concrete. Researchers examined the drilled cores in the Roman harbor from Pozzuoli Bay in Naples, Italy to discover the solution. When they examined it, they discovered that the volcanic ash's constituents had been dissolved by the seawater, allowing for the formation of new binding minerals. Within 10 years, the concrete had begun to create aluminum taubermorite, a highly rare hydrothermal mineral. Although it can be created in a lab, it is highly challenging to combine taubermorite into concrete, which has long been recognized to give Roman concrete its strength. However, the researchers discovered that as seawater percolates through a cement matrix, it combines with crystals and volcanic ash to produce taubermorite and philipsite, a porous mineral. The Romans were clever to use this mixture because when seawater gets into the crack, it will cause a chemical reaction that will strengthen the concrete over time. So why not use this for your next home construction? Well, nobody knows how this concrete was made, and the recipe vanished along with the Romans. Modern-day chemical analysis could help researchers reverse engineer something like this, but we are still not close to cracking the original recipe of the concrete. We still don't have the original recipe for the same. So the success of Roman concrete lies in the fact that it will get more durable when it is exposed to the seawater, so it gets stronger over time. Researchers led by geologist Murray Jackson from University of Utah have been chipping away at the mysteries of Roman contracts for several years now, and they finally mapped its crystalline structure, figuring out precisely how this ancient material solidifies over time. For reference, the modern concrete is typically made with Portland cement, which is a mixture of silica sand, limestone, clay, chalk, and several other ingredients that are melted together at blistering temperatures. This mixture will then bind aggregates, which are chunks of rocks and sand, and they need to be inert because any unwanted chemical reaction will cause several cracks in the concrete, which will lead to erosion and crumpling of the structure. This is why concrete does not have the longevity of natural rocks. In a previous research project led by Jackson, the team had already gathered samples of Roman marine concrete from several ports of the the Italian coast. Researchers were able to map these samples using an electron microscope before drilling down to an extremely high resolution with X-ray microdiffraction and Raman spectroscopy. With some of these advanced techniques, they could identify all the mineral grains produced in the ancient concrete over centuries. Mary Jackson said, "We can go into the tiny natural laboratories in the concrete, map the minerals that are present, the succession of the crystals that occur, and their crystallographic properties. It's been astounding what we've been able to find." Construction materials for any building project needs to be readily available, cost-effective, and durable. And for most of human history, we have always depended on wood or stone. Yes, wood has always been one of the best choices, if not the best for construction even today. But most engineers already switched to concrete and steel because of all the advantages both steel and concrete possess. Concrete, already popular in Europe, has been traditionally viewed as a utilitarian material suitable for those people who did not prioritize aesthetics. Most people associate concrete with parking structures, and they don't often realize it makes an ideal material for homes as well as buildings. With all the advancements in concrete formula, more and more beautiful concrete buildings clearly show us how this material can compete with every other construction material out there. Once you realize that concrete house construction does not have to sacrifice any aesthetic, the benefit of this building material will become apparent. The quality of concrete plays a very important role in the field of construction. Parameters such as load, bearing strength, durability, and resistance, and environmental factors such as wind, snow, and water dictates the quality of concrete. Our sea levels are already rising and shorelines are eroding, which means we need to work on protecting millions of people that live on the seaside. The Roman concrete is so strong that it already withstood the test of time, and it is continuing to do so. So scientists might finally know how to fix the issue of rising sea levels. Even then, the best solution would not be building seawalls because the oceans are rising more quickly than ever before. Even tiny changes in temperature can change sea levels, especially when ice melts at the poles. Extreme weather events driven by rising atmospheric pressures can be expected soon, which means there will be a continued focus on seawalls to keep communities near shores safe. For now, the best option would be to replicate the Romans' recipe for concrete, something that the Romans perfected over 2,000 years ago. But not all seawalls are good for the shore. According to several studies, nearly 14% of the American coastline is covered in concrete, and when water bounces off of seawalls, it can hurt several fragile coastal habitats, and it could, ironically, make coastal areas even more susceptible to storm damage. Maybe in the future we might be using the Roman recipe for concrete, but when it comes to stopping the sea level rise, we don't think even old school technology like the Roman concrete would help us. The regular concrete structures might not be the best solutions to build seawalls, and ironically, the solution to our present day problem might lie in a technology that's more than 2,000 years old.